now tuned in to the cold, hard truth. Cayman's #1 hard-hitting live podcast show, where we feature some straightforward conversations on political, social, and celebrity news and all things happening in the Cayman Islands and around the world. This show was created to give the people a voice and a means of being involved and informed without any filters. Sometimes it gets crazy, but we always keep it real. We bring you the tea, piping hot, so grab your favorite beverage and join the conversation via WhatsApp at 324-1612. Email tips at CaymanMarlRoad.com. Now, here's your host, Sandy Hill, broadcasting live from the beautiful Cayman Islands.
On Friday, and then Subway Countryside on Saturday. So we'll be doing all that. And anyway, let's get to Sandy and spilling the tea. It is, let me see, where we go. There, I need that one.
I have some important news for you. Interesting news.
It's Blake and Darren's Spilling the Tea with Sandy.
Cayman's top news headlines of the day from CMR.
All right. Sandy, how's it going?
Good morning, Aaron.
Blake is off again.
I know. I was going to say, I see you're flying solo again this morning.
Oh, yeah. It's cool.
How are you?
Good. How are you doing? I don't know. He's not feeling well. I'm not sure. I think he got his booster, so maybe it's just a little, fatigue.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, hopefully he feels better soon.
Yep.
Yeah, these things happen.
Anyway.
So, yeah, all good on this side.
I was going to say, how's everyone feeling? Still kind of.
Yes. So Marlon goes to do his exit test this morning.
Oh, really?
So fingers crossed that comes back negative.
So did you do a lateral flow test?
Yes.
First. Okay.
Yeah,
And it was negative?
Still good.
Okay. So, but that doesn't mean the PCR test could show up and then you're still, because that's where a
So
couple
I
people
did a
that I have.
PCR test days after
Yeah.
because I just wanted to have that under my belt as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I did do that. And then because the regulations stipulate a daily lateral flow test, I've been doing that. So
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine having to do a daily PCR test. Oh my God.
Well, not PCR, but no, for Marlon, what he can do. So it didn't show up on the lateral flow test, but if he goes in for the PCR, and it could show up, and if it does, then that's more, So
No. Oh, I'm sorry, I misunderstood you.
Yeah,
he hasn't done a lateral flow. He's just going to go in and do. Yeah, okay. He's just going to go in and do the PCR.
Because that's where, like, I have a couple friends who are in the situation where they've been stuck in their house for longer. It's not showing up on a lateral flow test, but they go to get the PCR, So
yeah, well, the PCR test is definitely more sensitive.
Yes, exactly.
For obvious reasons.
And I'm not I don't understand all that, but I'm just trying to figure out, like, in my mind, the way that I think about it is like, okay, so is their viral load so low that would they even be out there? I think it's just the possibility of spreading it is what they're trying to mitigate.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple things that definitely relate to a person's viral load, but the lateral flow test does have a degree of inaccuracy, so it can show you that you're negative when you're actually positive. So it's the trade-off of convenience and ease of use, and people doing it at home, because of course that leads to potential human error and stuff as well.
Totally.
Versus having another 5,000 people a day trying to do a PCR test.
I mean, there's just, I know that the number, it's like, okay, we're adding to the daily totals, and we're just, I feel like we are just finally experiencing what the rest of the world went through last year.
Yeah. Someone made a good point last night. We had a Premier Access show on with the Premier. That's going to be every other Wednesday in case people are interested in tuning in.
Oh, nice.
And it was a good show, but someone said, Cayman is essentially going through its first wave. And I think that person's absolutely right, because, we just locked down so quickly and we had this sort of protective wall and bubble that we were existing in, that I think people kind of thought that's how it was going to be forever.
Yeah, but we can't live like that. Mentally and physically, we have to be a part of the real world.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people on the mental level even were sort of struggling with lockdown in some real ways. We spoke to Paul Pearson on Monday, and he was actually in Tampa visiting his aunt, who he hadn't seen in forever. She'd actually fallen twice and broke her pelvic bone, I think, or something. But he was not able to even visit her during that time because of the travel restrictions. And so the second he could get out and know that he could come back very quickly and not have to quarantine, he's visiting her, and they're going to spend Thanksgiving together today for the first time in years. And he said, normally she would even come to Cayman and spend time here for Thanksgiving and stuff. But, again, they've had to make some adjustments, but yeah.
Well, that's good news. I mean, look, I haven't seen my family in coming up on 2 years now, and my mom and her husband are coming out next month, which I'm really excited about. They've missed 2 years of their grandchildren's life, and then not to mention, like, just in general,
the life of a child, like a young child, Aaron, 2 years is a long time. Like, they don't get to know people the same way on Zoom calls and WhatsApp calls and whatever. Nope. So that is quite a big deal.
My youngest was 1 last time they saw him physically, and now he's 3. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's a huge. Yeah. Well, I mean, we do FaceTime a lot, so he does understand. But no, it's like, he's just. But you don't get the sense of how the kids really are if over FaceTime, because half the time they're like, I don't want to be doing this anymore. I've got an attention span of a 3-year-old. So sure. It's unfortunately people have lost family that they never got to say goodbye or visit because they couldn't get anywhere. So I just hope that we can keep kind of just moving on and not move backwards again, because we do need to start figuring things out. And that's my piece on this American Thanksgiving.
Yes, happy Thanksgiving for sure. My favorite holiday. And also, I wanted to say that we had some breaking news last night. Again,
Oh, what
another
happened?
CMR exclusive. The president of UCCI has resigned.
And was that a new, has he been president for a while or
She,
she? Who is this?
so this is Stacey McAfee, 3
Oh,
years. So her contract renewal is coming up in December, and she's opted out of not renewing that. We just did a story, ironically
mhm.
enough, a couple days ago on her. So it was quite interesting timing that she resigned or
Hmm.
made the decision to resign. Yeah, there seems to be a little bit of power struggle going on there. So we revealed certain things in that story that might have been of interest to people.
Oh, well, that's
So yeah.
okay.
So she's
Causing
out.
problems.
Yeah, we wish her all the best of luck.
Yeah. I,
And
I mean, that's 3 years is definitely not a long
tenure.
tenure. Yeah,
Yeah.
but
So the police have been busy intercepting uh, a drug boat and arresting people who are assaulting them while they do traffic stops and other
what?
such things. So yesterday they had a number of press releases that went up, including a 20-year-old man arrested for burglary. They had a 21-year-old man from Town who became very aggressive and disruptive during a routine vehicular stop. And so he was actually tased because of his behavior.
Well, better than what they do in the States.
Yeah. So now he's facing a bunch of charges, including assaulting the police. And so, yeah, he was kicking and striking at officers. And so, not good for him. He's been
No.
arrested for disorderly conduct, obstructing police, resisting police, and assaulting police. And then
Yes.
you kind of wonder why. If it's just a routine check, why would you act like that? So,
Well, I mean, obviously we
yeah, we can sort of
speculate.
speculate about all sorts of things. But yeah, that's not very becoming behavior of anybody who's sensible.
No, and that would show restraint from the police officers because if I'm like, if someone starts kicking and attacking me, I
Yeah.
probably wouldn't have that much restraint.
Yeah. Well,
Anyway.
it's a tough job.
It
Being
is.
a police officer. And so, but they're supposed to be trained. Of course, we know they're also human, but they are supposed to be trained to react in the most professional manner possible. And we always expect that of them. I think sometimes people do forget that they're human beings as well.
Oh, yeah, no, totally.
And the police, in conjunction with the Coast Guard, intercepted a drug boat. So it looks like some guys were out in the waters. Actually, they were technically in international waters, but I clarified that we still have an obligation to intercept them.
Mm.
And they had a bunch of cocaine on the boat.
Ooh.
Yes.
Even. Well,
So police
stuff that's
nabbed
safe.
them as well.
So does it come? So they bring them all to shore here now if they get them in international waters?
Yeah, they get arrested and they get charged in the
Oh.
closest jurisdiction, I suppose, which would have been us. I mean, chances are it's probably heading here anyway. They just nabbed them before they got technically within our borders. So yeah. So
All right.
today is American Thanksgiving. So happy Thanksgiving to everyone. And we wanted to do a special birthday shout out. Now, CMR is very famous for birthday shout outs. Some people love sending us birthday shout outs, but look at this one. This is a special one for Bailey the dog.
Bailey the dog. That's a cute
Isn't
dog.
he cute? I
Oh,
know.
man.
He's so adorable. So his owner said that she had no idea how much a human can love a pet until she met baby Bailey in 2019.
Aw.
He goes on to say she was lonely, but he changed my world with hope, gave me a sense of purpose and reason to get out of bed, and the desire to return and to enjoy my home every day.
That's cute.
I know. She says Bailey became my second child, my companion, and my unconditional true love. He's always along for the ride, no matter what ups and downs life brings. And he shows his joy and compassion. He listens and believes in me. He's also my personal counselor and therapist. She's really loving her dog.
Aw.
So he turned 4 yesterday. And she said that she just wanted to celebrate him with all of his daily mischievousness with real love and lots of cookies. And she was also encouraging people, to love a pet that they're lifesavers.
Aw,
That's Bailey and her son. So
that's
it
so
was the
sweet.
cutest thing. Yeah.
I'm going to say that because we rescued 2 cats from the Humane Society. So we have 2 adopted little cats. And I'm telling you, when I was pregnant, when we were like, okay, let's have a baby. And then I got pregnant. I was like, how am I ever going to love this baby as much as I love my cats? I'm telling you, obviously that all changed once, but I did think that. I was like, oh my God, how can I ever love anyone more than these little baby animals of mine? Yeah.
Yeah.
So that is quite funny. I get
Well,
it.
if you are a mother or a pet owner first, and then you have a child, one of your biggest concerns is if they're even going to get along with each other and how well that transition will happen. Because, dogs and cats
Yeah.
and maybe other animals too can be jealous. They show these types of emotions.
Oh yeah.
So of course I was always concerned about my Coco and Gigi and how Coco, who'd been like the center of attention forever, would actually react when somebody else is the center of attention. But you know what? She was like the perfect dog. She just loved Gianna from day one. It was so amazing. The day we brought her home, Coco was very, very curious. And we kind of did like a little introduction. And then when we put her in her crib, Coco just went underneath the crib and just stayed there.
Oh,
like from day one, she's like, okay, whatever this little thing is, I'm here to protect her.
That's
really
sweet.
amazing.
I think dogs are easier to get along with. Little.
Yes, I've never been much of a
in a
cat
transition
person.
period. Yeah, my cats are in a transition period. Still, just over 5 years now.
Oh gosh.
No, they're fine. I think it's more like little kids pull the cat's tails and like chase them around.
Yeah, kids don't always get it.
They're getting better. They're becoming better friends. But that's sweet. Well, happy birthday to little Bailey dog.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, cool. All right. Well, you're doing your Thanksgiving dinner today?
You know what? I'm going to be joining some friends for Thanksgiving lunch.
Oh, okay.
And big shout out to Miss Alrita in Georgetown. She is a Caymanian cook and people love her food. And she'll be doing her Thanksgiving cook up there in town as well. She's right up the street from, I forget what the street's called, but right up the street from Welly's in case anybody wants to pop in. Her food is amazing. And so I'll at least get a plate of Thanksgiving food for sure. So I'm excited.
Awesome. I love it.
Didn't decide to, because of what's happening here, to bring anyone into our home, obviously.
Oh yeah.
To do a big cook up or anything like that. But I'm still gonna celebrate. And on the show this morning, we're gonna be talking about all the things in our lives that we are thankful for.
Awesome. Well, we have Caymanian Thanksgiving soon. Cayman Thanksgiving.
Yeah, that's coming up December, the first Sunday in December.
Why I love this place. 3 Thanksgivings because you're Canadian, American, Cayman.
Celebrate them all.
Yep, cool. Well, enjoy, and
I'm
thankful for all of you.
Aw, thank you, Erin. Have a beautiful day, and hopefully Blake is starting to feel on the mends.
Yeah,
Actually, is he tuned in this morning? I was going to have a quick look to see if I saw any
I don't
comments.
know. You should be resting if he's sick.
Yeah. She's like, I'm watching you. If you have time to be on social media, then you can come to work.
Well, come on, we're all on social media, like
even when we're sick.
Yeah. All right, guys. Happy Thanksgiving.
Have a good one, Erin.
Bye.
Bye. All right. So we're hoping Blake gets better soon. Oh no, I'm not forgetting my Thanksgiving lunch. I'm already thinking about it. I love Thanksgiving. You all know I love to eat. So, yes, somebody else just mentioned, they're like, when is Thanksgiving? Are you cooking? Bring me a plate of food. Nope, I ain't cooking. Not this year. Olivia, good morning. Good morning to Miss Rosemary. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone. Wee Wee's here. Felicia's got it locked. Good morning to the beautiful Miss Morna. How are you? Liasa says, good morning, Sandy. Happy Thanksgiving to you and all. Stay safe and well. Camille is also here. Good morning, Camille. Kay has got it locked down. She said it's a beautiful day, and it is. Has anyone noticed the gorgeous weather? A little breezy. Oh, it feels wonderful. So last night I was out playing pickleball, my new obsession. And I didn't play for very long because it was already getting a little bit dark outside. And so, we had a fantastic time. Now, somehow I managed to have lost a ball. and I have no idea where it is. Like it went in the garden beds, and I was looking and looking, and I can't find it. It's like the strangest thing. I mean, it is like a bright yellow color, so you think it would be really, really easy to find. So I saw it go into a particular garden bed, and then I can't find it. I'm looking amongst the lettuce. I told you guys my husband's growing all sorts of stuff. So last week we were talking about the sorrel. So I gave out a bag of sorrel already, and I'm waiting for the next bunch to be picked. I know a lot of you messaged that you wanted some sorrel. So as soon as I can pick it, you can definitely have it. So yeah, well, I should say I'm gonna leave the picking to Marlon, to be honest. But yeah, it went in the garden bed and I cannot locate it. I'm just like, where on earth did it go? So I'm down to one pickleball. We actually had both pickleballs end up in the gutter over the weekend, but thankfully we were able to get a tall ladder and retrieve them. So it's a lot of fun. I'm playing in the area of the garden that's like the narrowest, only because it also provides shade from the sun. The other side of the house has too much sun. So yeah, it's fun. You guys got to check out pickleball. Now, I've got some friends who are building a pickleball court. And they have said, Sandy, when the pickleball court is done, you are most welcome to come and play. And they were saying that over the weekend, they actually played for 3 hours. I'm like, wow. You see, when you get into little fun stuff like this, you don't even recognize that you're getting tons of exercise. It's so much fun. You get a little bit competitive. So according to my husband, I'm extremely competitive. He's like, oh, he's always telling my daughter, your mom doesn't like to lose. Well, I just like to give things 100%. So I go in there with a certain degree of vigor. And, sometimes I'll sneak in a little shot. And then he's like, oh, where did that come from? I'm like, mm-hmm. And then, when you do like a short drop on somebody, when they're not expecting it, you drop the ball just over the net where they can't reach it. And he's like, I knew you were going to do that. So it's lots of fun, and it's a fun thing to do, I think, as families together. Any kind of, physical activity that gets you outside, fresh air, enjoying this Christmas breeze is beautiful. So, and that, all right, let me get this right. Inabili. Did I get that right, or did I just butcher your name? Good morning to you. Carol says, stop the exit PCR test. Ridiculous. Carol's been on that bandwagon for a minute. I'm feeling it, Carol. I understand. Evelyn, good morning. Emma's here. Morning to Miss Bonnie. Miss Elizabeth, good morning. Chantal. Lily, the beautiful Lily, says happy Thanksgiving to everyone. So what are you guys thankful for this morning? Miss Sue, anybody else looking forward to a little Thanksgiving dinner? So first question is, what are you thankful for? By the way, I've got some gift certificates. Let's give away some gift certificates today. Let's be thankful and give away some wonderful gift certificates from corporate sponsors, Burger King and Popeyes. They don't have Thanksgiving dinner, but you can still get a chicken sandwich or something. Oh, I love the Popeyes chicken sandwich, by the way. Wee says happy Thanksgiving. What are you most thankful for in your life? I know sometimes it's hard to pick like just one thing that you're thankful for. For me, of course, it's family, my daughter, my husband, having a home that you can come to that is not just like a house, like it feels like a home. Having a few good friends, I'm thankful for health. Oh my gosh, there's so much to be thankful for. Hero Blair says it's cold in Orlando. Wow. US has got a little winter situation going on. How cold is cold? Tracy, who's Canadian, they get to celebrate Thanksgiving first. So she's extending her Thanksgiving greetings to her American friends. Do you celebrate it again, Tracy? Like I like celebrating all of them, like Aaron said. So yeah, I love Canadian Thanksgiving. Although I didn't know until I moved back to Cayman that they even had such a thing in Canada as well, but why not? And then I told you guys, about how Cayman Thanksgiving got started. When we get closer to that, we'll have some guests on the program to talk about that a little bit. And yeah, my American Thanksgiving is the one that I'm most familiar with because I lived in the States for 15 years of my life growing up. So I am all into American Thanksgiving and I absolutely love it. So Tony says, I hope that those drugs are destroyed and not distributed by corrupt police. Well, let's hope so. I think they have a decent protocol in place now. for how they account for drugs. So yeah, I'm taking a little tablet because I forgot to take it last night. Miss Juanita, good morning to you. Sonia's here. Happy Thanksgiving. Oh my gosh. You guys are challenging me with these beautiful names today. Omadevi, is that how you pronounce your name? Ooh, I don't even know if I want to pronounce the last name. Bree, I feel like the D is probably silent. Bree Jodhan. Is that even remotely close to what it should be? Hero Blair is thankful for family, friends, and good health. Cece is thankful for life, health, strength, patience, my family, and my peace of mind. That's a good one. Peace of mind is really important, let me tell you. Cece, don't forget you need to link me up to get something from me. Been sitting on the floor of the hall, and my husband's like, why are they still here? I'm like, yes, I need to get that sorted out. Sonia is thankful for health, family is everything. Thank you, Miss Sonia. So there is a lot. I'm surprised more of you are not telling me what you're thankful for. There's so much to be thankful for. Alice, what are you thankful for? Good morning to you, my darling. Yeah, there's so much to be thankful for now. I'm a little bit thankful that the UCCI president has decided to resign. I'm going to be honest with you. Some of the stuff that I hear going on there, some of the shenanigans are not nice at all. What a mess. Let's talk about it. So last night, right in the middle of our Premier Access show, I got a message that the UCCI president has resigned. So I was like, what? Let me get on that story right away. So where's Kevin? Good morning to Kevin Watler. Happy Thanksgiving, Kevin. Are you going to be having some turkey today? I messaged Kevin on WhatsApp real quick. And I said, Kev, I need you to take over the show for me. I need you to co-host so that I can put the story up. And he was like, I didn't even tell him what the story was. I was like, I just got a story I got to do. And he's like, oh, what's going on? So let me just. Oh yeah, so he jumped on immediately, and I was able to put the story up, and even the premiere said, he had some technical difficulties for the last half an hour of the show, so we did have to end the show a little bit early. But even he said he was not even aware that she had resigned. What's the protocol? We hire these people under certain conditions and whatever, and then when they resign and leave or they run away, like Saeed did for stealing or whatever, they don't even bother to tell us that they're going to run and abscond with their money. So, I don't think that it was going to be a really good situation from what I understand, especially what we have coming about UCCI. So, I think for her, it's going to be less stress in her life. So she sent in an email. We're going to go through the email here in a second. Evelyn is thankful for health and life. Good morning, Miss Joy, joining us from Texas. Emma says, I'm thankful to be alive another day. Absolutely, Emma. Trust me. You just never know. Life is so precarious and short. And you're here today. There used to be a saying, you're here today, you're gone tomorrow. I feel like you're here today and you're gone today. Like literally, it seems like life can just change in the blink of an eye. So, we have to be thankful that we are able to talk and get up and we have our faculties. Good morning to Bonnie. She's thankful for life, breath, and God's mercies. Marcia is thankful for life, health, family, and my few associates. Well, everything that I'm blessed with. Absolutely. So Alice says, I'm thankful for life, family, health, not too much, 100%. unbearable pain from back surgery last year at Health City. So sorry to hear that. Please pray for all. So we hope that you start to feel better. You know, chronic pain, Alice, is a hell of a thing. And, you know, I've experienced that. Like even right now I'm talking to you guys, my elbow is in pain. I finally had to give in and start doing some, well, I've been doing physio, but I need to follow up on my renewal for my referral for physio. But I finally had to start taking some medication despite my desire to not want to take any. Sometimes the pain really is unbearable. And so I'm still in pain, although I'm taking, what's it called? Acoxia, whatever, that I didn't really want to take. But sometimes, you know, we have to do whatever we have to do in order to feel a little bit better. So I'm doing that. And I can only imagine, like I've had back pain over the years that was severe, probably nothing like what Alice is going through, because of course I've never had back surgery. But chronic pain is just, oh my God, it makes you appreciate the mornings that you get up and that you have no pain. Like though you're just like, wow, that's amazing. So I really hope that you start to feel better, because I sympathize with you a lot, believe me. And you know, as we start to get older, we start to have all these aches and pains all over the place, child. I was noticing yesterday, I was kind of rubbing my hand and I had a little ache like between this finger, these two fingers. I'm like, what on earth is that all about? I mean, I'm not left-handed, but I do know I obviously use it for certain things. So I don't know if I picked up something, maybe a grocery bag or something with my left hand that was like a little bit heavy and it's put a little bit of pain there. Child, life. And, you know, there are things that we need to be doing. So before you get to the point where you're immobile, remaining mobile is really, really important. That's why I'm like, you know, I love pickleball. You guys are going to get sick of me talking about pickleball here in a minute. But I'm like, you know what? I'm not moving super fast right now, but at least it gives me a little bit of running up and down. And I was thinking to myself last night, I'm actually feeling kind of nice and loose from the pickleball swinging. Maybe I could head in the gym next. Y'all might soon hear me going in that gym, child, and walking on the treadmill, using the elliptical, the bicycle, the rower, anything. Blissful Powell says, I'm thankful for all the bad and negative things that happened to me, or I wouldn't have a reason to elevate. Thankful. Ooh, that's a good one, Blissful Powell. I like that. You know, I was actually saying this in relation to my court case to someone the other day, because in my mind, it could have all been avoidable had I filed my defense in time. And, you know, you always like, oh, should have done that. But in a way, it was a lesson that I needed to learn. So I'm really thankful for the lesson that came out of it. And the experience is what taught me the lesson, right? Because you wouldn't have it otherwise. So I agree, Blissful Powell, that sometimes even what we perceive as the negative things, as my little psychic acupuncture friend in Miami used to say, you're right where you're supposed to be. So even in the midst of going through it, that's where you're meant to be, because there is a life lesson in that moment for you. And hopefully all of us are learning these life lessons as we move forward. So I am very thankful for the experience, because it taught me a lot. And it also made me see that even if you feel like things don't work initially, that there's hope of recovering a situation, even in terms of like the judicial situation. You know, Kyle from Broadhurst and Attorneys at Law was able to come in and correct a situation. And thankfully, the judge was amenable to that and was open to what had actually transpired. And, you know, like I said, we're waiting on the decision so we can talk about the details of exactly what happened at the hearing. But yeah, had I not gone through that in 2019, I feel like was such a challenging year. That's when this happened. I actually had like 3 cases in 2019 that were all really big cases. So I think that I had to prioritize my time because I was doing everything myself. And that's really what happened with this case. Is it was allowed to fall through the cracks because of that as well. And let's be quite frank, then the pandemic hit and all this other stuff. So it's been a crazy last couple of years, right? So yeah, you know, that's a life lesson that now I can walk away from having a little bit more knowledge. So let's be thankful for the trying times in our lives as well. So Liasa says, thankful for God's grace and mercy and the patience that he has bestowed upon me for such a time as this. I mean, we're going through it with COVID, folks. We are going through it. And as a result, I feel like, we are all going to be super thankful to just get through it at the end. Like, I think all of us will come back from this and say, wow, I survived. I was reading something I think it was The Economist. I just saw the headline and it said something like, the fact that the pandemic is going to get easier only because it's been really bad. And I thought, that's an super interesting headline, first of all. And it is a really interesting way to look at life. Like, how much worse can it get was basically what it was saying. And it basically said that it's going to get better because it's been pretty bad. So I thought, oh my gosh, it's just crazy. Absolutely crazy. So many people have died around the world, millions of people. And I think that if you're one of the fortunate people that hasn't known someone personally that has been touched by this pandemic in the sense of like death, that is something to be thankful for. I mean, I know that sounds horrible, but that's thankful. That's something to be thankful for. Darlene says, thankful for too much to mention. Most of all, I made it back home after being gone for so long. Want to get my CMR mug from Sandy. Home, Darlene, as in you're in the Cayman Islands? What? Well, of course you're going to get your CMR mug, girl, and a personal visit from me. Wow. So Lily says, I'm sad for Dr. McAfee's resignation. She's done a lot for UCCI students in different ways. I wish her the best of luck. Well, I think that is certainly one angle. And to be quite frank and honest, she certainly highlighted that in her resignation letter, everything that she's done. But Miss Lily, let's be honest and fair about the situation now. She's also done a lot of things that do not make her the best person in the world either, in terms of a president of a university. So I'm feeling a little bit lukewarm about her. And like I said, I'm not necessarily going to miss her resignation. I just hope that they make a better choice going forward. And I'm going to talk about some of the issues that I have here in a second. So Robin says, we have no choice. You cannot board a plane unless you're negative. It's a requirement for destination or country to show negative PCR tests. I think she's responding to Carol's comment. I think Carol's point is in reference to, like, when she says an exit PCR test, she doesn't mean, I don't think, exiting the country. She says once you've been positive, after 10 days, she thinks it makes no sense to even test someone. But some people seem to maintain a viral load even after that period of time that can be quite high. So Marshall, happy Thanksgiving and good morning. Ahmad, thank you. Okay, Ahmad, you're really trying me this morning. Assalam, you alakiam. No clue if that's remotely correct. Perla is here, having a large cup of coffee. She's got a CMR mug. Catherine, thank you for tuning in. Miss Alice, you're most welcome. Blissful says, Mama used to tell me that after every storm, there's always comes a calm, and COVID is the calm, but we patiently wait for COVID is the storm. Sorry. Ooh, COVID is definitely not a calm, honey, but we patiently wait for the calm. Yes. And I believe that too. There's always, life has ups and downs and valleys and peaks, and, and you don't, believe me, you don't appreciate the peaks if you've never been down in the valley, child. You know, if you've never had a moment where you've questioned life and you've questioned why are you even here, and that's when you enjoy the good stuff. The contrast in life is a necessity. So you've got to know that there's good, there's bad, and there are moments when you will be super thankful, and there are moments when maybe we're all not as thankful as we should be because of things that's happening. We've all been unemployed. We've all had financial difficulties. Some of us have had marriage difficulties, divorces, miscarriages, all sorts of stuff. And you don't appreciate, there's nothing like, I suppose, I personally haven't had this experience, but I can imagine there's absolutely nothing like holding a baby in your hand. I was reading a headline from somebody else's post this morning, a 50-year-old having a baby after years, lifelong of fertility issues. And at 50, she finally got pregnant. I was like, whoa, it's risky to have a baby at 50, but it worked out for her. Imagine her holding her baby after trying so hard to have a baby. There must be nothing else in the world. That moment is so amazing. And it's having had those other experiences that really make you appreciate it. So South Margie says, I'm so thankful to be here at home in the Cayman Islands, still safe and perfectly fine. Let me show you a little picture of my daughter. Look at this picture. I just came across this in my Facebook memories this morning. Look at this. This was 2017. So she was a little bit over a year. And she's just so full of personality. She's a little bit of a wild child sometimes, but I suppose all children are like that. But she is something else. She is so funny, full of life, and really adds a lot of comic relief to our household on a daily basis. Trust me. Absolutely funny child. All right, let me give away a gift certificate. It is Thanksgiving after all. Popeyes or Burger King, your choice. What shall the question be this morning? Let's make it a Thanksgiving related question. I need to actually look up the answer. Let's do some Thanksgiving trivia. Okay. Y'all ready? Ready? All right. Thanksgiving trivia. Here's a good one. How long was the first Thanksgiving celebration? So way back when they first celebrated it, how long was the first Thanksgiving celebration? Anybody can get that question? You got yourself a gift certificate. And I'll give you an alternative question so you can answer either one. Thank you, Miss Wee Wee. Good morning, Minister. Oh, yes, he said, hope you got the confirmation needed for your cruise story. Child, the cruise story was right on the money. Just a speculation about what ship it could have been, which we already had corrected by yesterday morning. So by the time that press release came out yesterday afternoon, we had that correct. So Hero Blair says 3 days, and he's absolutely correct. It was 3 days. So I know that you're actually not in Cayman, so maybe you'll re-gift it. But would you like a Popeyes gift certificate or Popeyes? We got Popeyes and we got Burger King. Which would you like? And let me know. So Tracy came in at 3 days. Good job, Tracy. But Hero was first on the keyboard. All right, let's do another one. So Hero Blair, please send me your details on what you'd like to do with your gift certificate. Ooh, let's see. Here's a good one. It has been a U.S. Tradition to pardon a turkey. So they go through this whole pardon a turkey thing. And so this question is, who was the first president to pardon a turkey? So who was the first president to pardon a turkey? This is a good one. Let me grab my pen because I need to make my little notes about who wins, because otherwise I forget. I'll be like, who won the gift certificate again? So who was the first president of the United States to really start that tradition of pardoning a turkey? So any takers for that one? Let me know. So this whole thing about pardoning a turkey is kind of funny, actually. Ellen guessed Reagan. Nope. Abraham Lincoln, not so far back, Jared. Kennedy. Which Kennedy? Have we had more than one President Kennedy? No, his brother was. So yes, I'll give it to Evelyn. So it was actually John F. Kennedy. He was the first president to pardon a turkey. And then that was followed up by President George H.W. Bush made the turkey pardon an annual event. So yes, Evelyn, you have to message me and let me know which gift certificate you'd like. Let me write down that you've won. Okay, good job. Carmelie went way back to 1947 for President Harry S. Truman. Virtuous says, I'm thankful for right now, my pains are not so high. I'm testing my cognitive. I'm typing this message to test for therapy because of dealing with Raynaud's phenomenon, arthritis, and fibromyalgia, etc. Happy Thanksgiving, Jesus and everyone. Ronald Reagan, nope. Washington. So it was John F. Kennedy. So good job. Ooh, some of y'all guessing Andrew Jackson, George Washington. Y'all going way back. Good morning, King. How are you? He's like, I have no idea. I'm just here for the fun. Okay, so here's a good one. Let's talk about Thanksgiving food. How many calories on average are consumed per person at your Thanksgiving dinner? Lord have mercy. Woo! Now this is a whopper. How many calories do you think are consumed per person at Thanksgiving dinner? Now that's crazy. One person's like, I want you to get to the gossip about the president. That's what I want to hear at Thanksgiving. That's what I would be thankful for. We're going to send you a virtual hug. So how many calories do you think we consume on Thanksgiving? Okay, got it, Evelyn. So you're a winner. Let me know which gift certificate you want. So King says, good morning, laughing out loud. Thanksgiving calories, 2,200. Carmelie says 3,000 to 4,500. So Carmelie, I'm going to give it to you because on the high end, you got it right. 4,500 calories. Oh my God. How many calories are we supposed to have a day? Like, I feel like it depends on if you want to lose weight or not. But on average, we should be eating, I think it depends on a few different factors, but 4,500 a day is a lot. So if you're trying to lose weight, a general rule of thumb is to reduce your caloric intake to 500 fewer calories than your body needs. So some recommendations are between like 2,000 and 2,025 in terms of calories. So most women between the age of 19 to 30 require between 2,000 and 2,400 calories per day to maintain their weight. And women between 31 and 59, generally in that age group, should consume between 1,800 to 2,200 per day to maintain their weight. So if you're trying to lose weight, obviously you gotta shave off a little bit of that. And men get a little bit more because they're just lucky. And on Thanksgiving Day, we consume on average 4,500 calories. So Carmelie, you can message me about which gift certificate you'd like. That's a lot of calories, I must admit. That's double at least what you should be taking in. But yes, I can totally see that, right? The turkey, the ham, oh my God. Ugh, I'm making myself hungry already. I love Thanksgiving food. What's your favorite Thanksgiving dish? Like for me, I feel like everything goes together. Like I can't have turkey without the cranberry, without the stuffing, the sweet potato, the candied yams. Oh my God, I love candied yams. Everything. Some of the dishes, like the potatoes and stuff, like if you do mashed potatoes, I'm like, I can have it with or without mashed potatoes, but everything else is like a necessity. And then your carb loading, right? So many carbs on a dish, but trust me, y'all eat up for me today. King says 1,200 if you work in an office. Damien says a buffalo. What was that for? Lily will only do ham, so no turkey. What do you prefer, ham or turkey? I love both. Like I said, especially for Thanksgiving, I think they need to go together. Oh, here's a good one. How many women were at the very first Thanksgiving celebration? Not a whole lot. That's for sure. Not a whole lot at all. No turkey for Lily. How many women do you think? King says I'm on a diet. Shouldn't be in this conversation, making me hungry. I don't celebrate American Thanksgiving, but since moving to the UK, I celebrate Cayman Thanksgiving, which is December the 5th this year. Nice. So in about another week and a few days, you can be doing it all over. Popeye's gift certificate. Yes. Good. Message me, folks, if you've won, about which one you'd like. People really like Popeyes. People love them some Popeye chicken. I like the Popeye sandwiches. Carmelie says 4 women. Nope. Close, but you've already won a gift certificate, young lady. Marshall says, I don't like candied yams, but I don't like sweet potato or pumpkin pie. Everything else is good. Really? Oh my God. Can I tell you? First of all, candied yams, I love, absolutely love. And my favorite pie, now listen, maybe you have to be an American to appreciate this. There's pumpkin pie and there's sweet potato pie. They are 2 very, very different things. Alvin, you are a winner. Congratulations, Alvin. Please message me about which gift certificate you'd like and we'll arrange to get that to you. So sweet potato pie is my favorite. And my aunt, bless her heart. Oh, Aunt Lottie was the best cook in the world. And she made a sweet potato pie like nobody else from scratch. Her pie crust was from scratch. She'd be sitting there kneading the pie dough. Oh my God. She was an amazing cook. And one of my favorite things that she made, and I always said that I should have really learned the recipe and I didn't, was her sweet potato pie. Wow. My favorite. Elaine guessed 2 women. Nope, it was actually 5. So Alvin got that right. So let's talk a little bit about UCCI. We'll continue some trivia throughout the day. So get ready for your Thanksgiving trivia questions. We're going to give away all these gift certificates. Be thankful for that. Thankful for Burger King and Popeyes for giving us gift certificates. We're going to get some from our other corporate sponsors as well. Louise says, love some sweet potato pie. I do too. King says, I do have a thing for the butter pecan pie. I like pecan pies, but sweet potato just is my heart and my dessert heart. And you guys know I love desserts. And I'm a person that likes like fancy desserts. So to me, sweet potato isn't really a fancy dessert, but it just hits the spot. It is good. And I've never made a sweet potato pie in my life, but my aunt used to make them all the time. So, okay, folks, UCCI. So listen, my sources have told me, and I'm working hard to get my hands on this, that when the new board came in September, they had to undertake a bit of there's a report out there that is not very favorable to the president of UCCI. So the president, in her resignation letter, she highlighted all of the wonderful things that she had done during her tenure. And I think, I'm going to show you guys some of the email here. I think that that's wonderful. And I suppose that that's what you do when you're going to resign. You talk about, all the great stuff. Oh, you guys can't even see that. That's so tiny. Let me see if we can enlarge this. Yes, there we go. So she sends it out to all staff at 7:30 p.m. And she says, it's with a heavy heart that I announce today that I will be concluding my tenure as president and CEO of UCCI at the end of my contract. Now, remember, just couple days before that, we had mentioned that in the context of talking about the board getting compensated, we wanted to clarify exactly how that compensation came about. But we couldn't do so in a vacuum because, folks, in the real world, very few things happen in a vacuum. So you need to understand that there is this situation that was happening between the president of the university and the board. And let's be honest, I think under the last board, what had happened to her is she was given a free check to do whatever she wanted to do, quite literally. And there was little to no board oversight. They allowed her to do whatever. And she had gotten used to that. I think this board has made it very clear that that's not going to be the MO. You know, she's not going to just be there doing whatever she feels like. This board is like, nah, it ain't going to happen. So, you know, as a result of that, I think she kind of saw the writing on the wall anyway, because my sources have said that essentially she wanted to not even have her contract, her renewal advertised. So she thought, oh, she'd just get an extension of her 3-year contract. And the board made it very, very clear that the position would be open to full advertisement, both locally and overseas, I suppose. So maybe she thought, what's the point of going through this recruitment process? And then I think we also highlighted a couple things that really do not make her look good. So I understand Lily says she did a lot for the school, and I'm not going to take away from any of that because I don't have confirmation on any of that. But I do know what she wasn't getting right, and those are some of the things that we need to be talking about. So she does talk about the fact that she will not be renewing her contract at her choice, I guess. At this point, it may come down to that anyway. And then she goes on to say that during my 3 years at the helm of the university, we've all worked tirelessly to grow the financial and future stability. And she talks about the fact that the student body, the student enrollment has increased by 43% across all degree programs. Now, this is a little bit of an odd situation because I must tell you that there are people who are close to the university who have questioned. She says that there are some 2,000 students. By the way, we sent in an FOI request, and I'm waiting to see if they are even going to respond to the FOI request, because in the past, the university hasn't. And they have claimed that they've had a 43% increase in student enrollments, and they have some 2,000 students enrolled. Now, there are people who question that number. They say, we don't have 2,000 people enrolled at UCCI. Where's that figure coming from? Well, we've asked for a breakdown of where that figure is coming from. Inquiring minds want to know, apparently. I want to know. So we'll wait and see if we ever get that information. So I don't know how she's coming out with 43%. That seems like a lot. Maybe she knows something that we don't know. She says philanthropy has increased 15-fold. And for this year alone, is over $1 million of gifts and commitments. What is philanthropy for UCCI? What exactly does that mean? What sort of gifts are they getting in from whom? I'm curious, because in my mind, this university always seems to be having financial issues, and they're operating at, a deficit and all sorts of problems, and government is funding them, millions of dollars. So if they're getting so much in gifts and commitments of over $1 million, what exactly does that mean? I would love for her to expound on that before she leaves. Again, I have no clue what that means. She says student achievement has also soared. This is good to know. The roster of students making the president's and dean's list has grown, she says, 31% and 64% in 2 years. Okay. If that's true, that's fantastic. For 3 years, UCI's team of students has also won the Regional Chartered Financial Analyst Competition. That's a CFA competition, a contest involving more than 1,000 universities worldwide. Beautiful. 2 of the 4 cohorts of nursing students have also achieved a 100% pass rate on external exams, a feat rarely obtained by nursing schools. All right. And she says, in support of her commitment to equity and inclusion, 83% of staff promotions have gone to Cayman employees. Irks. Pump the brakes there, because this seems to be a point that a lot of people would disagree with her on. She claims of those hired during that period, 40% were Caymanian and 50% permanent residents. 40% Caymanians. Is that supposed to be something that you're excited about? 40% hired Caymanians? Child, if you were in the 80, 90% percentile, then I would mention it. 40% really isn't that good when you think about it. Now, some of you are saying embellishments. Jared said that's a lie. Well, I'm telling you, one of the reasons that she's probably not happy with the board is that the board has undertaken what do you call it? The board has undertaken an HR audit that is going to reveal a lot of things. There were so many complaints, and this is where I find these numbers about staff promotions and hiring of Caymanians to be a bit of an interesting thing to highlight as a success, because when you talk to people who are in the know, some have left the university, in fact, they're not of the opinion that that's what's happening there at all. In fact, they will tell you that they have been disenfranchised more during the last 3 years than probably ever before. She has demoted Caribbean staff, is what I understand, hired some of her own. In some instances, staff members have moved into other positions because they were looking for a salary increase. And then when she re-advertised their job, she increased the salary by like $30,000 to import her friends from overseas. I'm just saying, this is what the streets are talking. So the streets are not giving her a favorable mark as it comes to the hiring of Caymanian or local staff, none at all. In fact, I've heard that she's demoted a number of people, Dr. So-and-so and this doctor. Oh, we're going to be naming names, you know. I'm just waiting on confirmation on a few things from multiple sources. And she's demoted these people. Or in some instances, made their lives so uncomfortable, they've completely left and resigned from the university. So, Dr. McAfee, I don't know what you're talking about. Rumor has it that the school has also received a qualified audit for 2020. Funny enough, she has not mentioned, she talks about outstanding campus facilities. She did spend a lot of money on some upgrades. I don't even know if the upgrades are yet completed because they were behind schedule. But I do know that she has spent a lot of money trying to upgrade the physical environment and do all sorts of stuff. And, I suppose that has its place, but we know that that's not really what makes a school a good school all the time. There's more to it than that. So she doesn't make mention, quite interestingly enough, of any of the failures. For example, the failure of the head of hospitality who was stealing under her tenure. No mention of that. The failure of having a man teaching there who is now in court for child pornography. No mention of that. Oh, by the way, he was supposed to be in court yesterday at 2:30, but it turns out he has COVID. So his trial has been postponed until December, I think the week of the 6th or something like that. So Freddie has come down with COVID. Freddie Diaz. Ironic, isn't it? All right. So Mr. Freddie has COVID, and the UCCI president is embellishing her accomplishments. I really need to get my hands on this report that the board has produced, that I hear, again, has been a scathing report of what they found at the university. So if y'all know any sources that know sources that know sources, please hook up a friend. Get me some, get me that report, honey child. Because I want to read it and I want to share it with y'all. But yes, my sources said that basically, That was not. Mhm. So, this current government in their SPS has indicated that they want to make UCCI free for Caymanian students to attend. And that's one of the reasons why they wanted to improve the governance structure from now. So that's the board. And, that is underway. So the board will get like a proper office, a proper PA, and so on. And Gilbert McLean, who is head of the board, I understand, is actually working full time. So I know some of you were like, well, why should he be getting a salary? Well, if you intend to have professionals working full time and giving of their time, then I think that they should be compensated. Not like they have to have the highest compensation in the world, but I think that they should be fairly compensated. And the other thing it does is it reduces the opportunity for them to want to take kickbacks and other things. So Jared says that's a lie. He says those facts aren't true. And he agrees that something is amiss. So Jared, you ready? Good morning. You look like you got a fresh haircut, man. You got to unmute yourself, Jared. You're ready for us? We're ready for you. Okay, so he says 1 minute. All right, let's pull you out till you sort out your microphone.
Miss Sandy, how you doing?
Morning. I'm good. How are you? What do you make of this resignation
Can
letter?
you? Okay.
You ready for us? We're ready for you.
Yeah.
You got some feedback going on. 1 minute. All right, let's pull you out till you sort out your microphone.
Miss Sandy, how you doing?
Morning.
Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Feel that. There we go.
I'm not able to hear you.
You might want to plug that headset back in and hear us that way, I think.
Just see something.
Yeah, change those settings. So Emma says, if it's a fact, how can it turn out to be false? Well,
Can you hear me now, Miss Sandy?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I feel like I'm having technical difficulties here.
Okay. Yeah, just adjust the output settings for audio. So Emma, this is where people can say anything as a fact, but we would love to be able
I'm
to
gonna
see.
log back in and try this again.
No problem. So we would love to see, Emma, where that information is coming from. Again, if she says 83% of staff promotions have gone to Caymanians, show us how that's possible when you have Caymanians there who have left, who've resigned, who are not happy, who are on the verge of resigning because of what has been happening with the Caymanian staff. It's a peculiarity, but we definitely want to figure out where she's getting these numbers from. I think that HR audit should obviously go through, and we need to find out exactly, well, what's the real deal. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. I don't know. Sounds a little bit crazy to me. So, again, there have been some areas of concern. And I told you guys, listen, when the university president talked about this case here with Freddie, right? And she issued that statement that he was not a teacher. This is a bold-faced lie. She actually issued a statement on behalf of the university saying that she can confirm that in 2021, he was employed as a staff member in a non-teaching capacity. And then we get a schedule where he shows up on the list teaching not one, not two, but 4 different classes. So how do you explain that? And she's going to lie about something like that. I mean, come on now, there he is teaching those 4 classes. What else might she be lying about? Jared, what do you think? What else could she be lying about?
Well, I don't know. I wouldn't want to speculate.
But I mean, do you believe all of this about Caymanians being hired first? And well, first of all, 40%
Okay.
hiring, not really a high number.
Okay. So what I do know,
Mm-hmm.
all the chair positions that were there, they were marketed out because I did see them on the on government website. And from what I know, people were feeling the pressure. Yes, she has made some changes, technological changes, improved the website and all of that, but she hasn't given anybody any credit. So like Dr. Kadisha Swearing, who is the one who takes the students to these places overseas to compete for the accounting, whatever. I don't hear no mention of that. Like that don't make no sense. I understand when you're in an organization and you're the top dog, you're the person that gets the credit. But she doesn't even outline, hey, I want to thank my staff for supporting me or anything like that. It just goes to show a certain level of narcissistic behavior that when certain people come, they occupy certain positions. It's just
I
there.
guess here she does say we have also worked as a team. What happened to Dr. Livingston? Do you know any of the staff movements?
That the one I was going to talk about.
Okay, because we
he
hear through the grapevine, Dr. Livingston been kind of demoted or something.
because what had happened originally, he was the I think the vice president, and I think less than a year after he had that position, he gone. Nobody know what happened. You know, hear nothing. You just say, in that position. And then when you look at all the people who occupy the positions, it's people from North America. And there was this thing about, there's too much Jamaicans in the field. To be quite honest, Jamaicans are good at what they do when it comes to education. There's no ifs or buts. But if all the chair positions are going out to people who don't know Cayman and things like that, she had a little run-in with Mr. Biden, President.
I was just going to say that. I was actually trying to find that post by Roy Biden because I think a lot of people have probably forgotten what he had to say.
Yeah, he didn't have a good experience.
Yes, and he says that she has denied him. Let me just stop sharing my screen for a second because I want to find the post. Roy Biden said that he was denied the opportunity to have his symposium at UCCI, which is something that everybody felt should have been open to all of the students. And this was back in
I think last year, early this year.
Yeah, I think it was early this year in June.
Yes.
But yes, he said that she has denied him that opportunity. And then she came up with a response saying that, that wasn't true. That because of COVID and this not, and he said basically that was a bold-faced lie.
It's a lie. Because, Mr. Biden said, what, FOI the report. I FOI'd the report. I don't play. I went to UCCI. And what I got from Mr. Biden's report was he was highlighting a lot of social issues in regards to Caymanians having access to education or at UCCI. Now, yes, she got money. That is good. But my issue is you need to highlight your staff. You're only good as your weakest link. And she's the biggest, weakest link there. So if from my thing, if you're going to disrespect a Caymanian, and not only that, an educated Caymanian who was in this position, I have no respect for you. That's just the point. You can't disrespect Caymanians and expect me to have respect for you because you from America, you got PhD. You don't work like that. Cayman works on a different wavelength. And people who come to Cayman, they don't know that and they don't understand that. And they always have these issues when they get these big positions and they're like, I can do it. And when they realize what they buck up in is more than what they can manage, they run away like what she's doing now. Because what she realized is probably all the staff turn on.
So let's bring back up what Roy Biden said at the time. Which I think is very telling. So give me 1 second here. And this was his opinion of what transpired. Let me just see if I can make sure I get the right window open up here. So give me 1 second. Yes, but Mr. Biden was not too pleased.
Yeah, he was very outspoken, and I like that because not a lot of Caymanian heads really talk about or can talk about issues within the government because they're working in government. You can't outrightly, for lack of a better word, speak against the government, even if it is something that they're doing wrong. And there's another issue is with the board, in that sometimes the board at times may overstep the president's authority, because that was highlighted in Mr. Bond's case as well. Now, in Dr. McAfee's case, the board probably didn't like her. And they said, well, you know.
Well, from what I understand, the previous board, and so the new board is just in, but the previous board appeared to have given her a lot of leeway to do whatever she wanted. And this board was really going to put a bit more oversight in place. And I think that's where heads were starting to buck a little bit. So here we have UCCI. This was in June, late June of this year. And they called it a misunderstanding. But Roy Bodden did not mince his words when he said the following. So let us have a look at, what Roy Bodden had to say. Oops. Oh, sorry. Let me scroll down a little bit. Here we go. This is the video.
Disturbing the status quo. Troublemaker. I've been branded all those things, the whole encyclopedia. And in this particular case, the situation is further compounded by another circumstance. And I want to put this as delicately as I can, but some things cannot be avoided. People ask me, why wasn't this held at the University College, where students could have access to the presentations as they were interested? Well, this morning in her presentation, my good friend, the Honorable Madam Speaker, as I call her, she gave the answer. It wasn't held at the University College because the president of the University College refused to have the ceremony there. The president being one of those who have afforded themselves an unwarranted level of superiority no one should have in another man's country. A supercilious attitude permeates every level of activity. Now you answer this question and you will see the difficulty of a public intellectual in a society like the Cayman Islands. I was the president of the University College for 9 years, the person who rescued it from the morass in which a former imported president left it. And now, upon my departure, the board was so impressed that they gave me the title of President Emeritus. And yet, I could not hold a function like this. A function like this to uplift, elevate the minds of Caymanians? What kind of society is this? So that, ladies and gentlemen, in a nutshell, gives you the challenge that public intellectuals are up against. And I'm not the only one that suffered these things. Probably before me there were people like Dr. Frank McField, all that. But anyway, let me get back to my sermon. I want to.
All right, folks, so you heard it there from Roy Bodden's mouth himself. And of course, the university got a lot of back flack for that, and she denied it. And this is what Roy Bodden said back in June in response to this article, where she denied that that was the case. He said, I have read the UCCI response to the charges I made regarding the organizers being denied the opportunity to hold a symposium at UCCI. I am categorically stating that this is a blatant untruth, a story concocted to save the Dr. McAfee and those who colluded with her to deprive hundreds of Caymanian students and others in the community of an opportunity to participate in a relevant and timely debate as to what is happening in the society. But madam, you do not have to take my word for it. Should you wish to find out who's telling the truth, then I recommend that an FOI request be made to UCCI for all of the correspondence surrounding the organization and request for permission to hold the symposium at the University College of the Cayman Islands. And of course, like I said, they have a history of ignoring FOI requests. Jared?
Yeah, well, they had to answer mine because I was going to the complaints commissioner because I don't play with them people when it comes to FOI. Because the FOI took quite a bit of a while. But you know, the point that I'd want to bring back, I would ask Dr. Stacy, how many of the people who own chairships are Caymanian? Because all the people that they have there on the website, you can't see them picture, one, and the interim deans. And I know they're not from Cayman because those names are Caymanian. I'm not afraid to say it. I'm not happy about it. I liked what we had before. Yes, she has made some modifications and spruce up the website and all of that. But primarily, the focus of UCCI should be to make education accessible to every Caymanian so they have a chance and an opportunity to run their own business, start their own thing, and to make Cayman successful. So, yeah, I would say based on the evidence and information that she has produced, she is lying. And while we were happy she was here, we are happy for her other endeavors and wish her the best.
I'm trying to find on the website some of the staff. I'm trying to find that page. It's not, I mean, it looks nice and pretty, but in terms of practicality.
Okay,
let me yeah, I'm trying to find it and it's not really all of that easy.
There, I just put it in the
to navigate.
Yeah, right there.
So where is the
so when you go to I don't know why they put it like this, but when you go to I am whatever, and you see faculty and staff.
Oh, okay.
You go to the director.
Oh, so we're gonna go to the directory. I am faculty.
Yeah, kind of.
Okay. I was thinking you don't go there unless you're one of those people. So there she is, Office of the President. So science, technology, engineering, and math.
Yeah.
Which one of these people are Caymanians?
Tracy Hargrave is Caymanian. I know her. She taught me maths. Very nice lady.
I mean, these I'm looking at right here. Any of these Caymanians yet?
I believe. Yeah, no, they've been there for a while.
Oh,
like,
okay.
Yeah, all these people, all these professors.
So Tracy, this is who you're referring to here.
Let me see. Let me find one.
Who's Deborah Beal or Beal?
She is the environmental science professor.
Okay. Is she Caymanian, Caribbean? Where's she from?
She's from the States, but I think she's been in Cayman for like a good while.
Okay,
like,
so no
sizable amount of years. Yeah, Dr. Eubanks, who's been, I think he's been here less than 5 years, but he relatively knows Cayman.
So Dr. Livingston Smith has been demoted to just being a professor?
Well, I wouldn't say he was demoted. I think his role, he has always been a professor, but in terms of being a provost, he has either left that position but has gone to his substantive role. Because there's different categories and ranks. So you have my associate professor, assistant professor, and then professor, which is like a full professor. Yeah. So the positions that I'm talking about, Paul Puckering, I don't know who that is. Interim Dean of Professional and Technical Education and Training.
So who's Doctor? He has almost Caymanian last name, Dr. Ivan.
He's from America.
He's American. So interesting that he has a very similar last name to Ebanks. So we don't know. Okay, who's Jonathan? He looks familiar. His face looks a little bit familiar.
So,
admissions and registration. Okay.
Yeah, so this lady, I don't know this lady, Dr. Beverly Shuford, Vice President of Business and Finance. I don't know that lady.
Director of Admissions and Registration.
That is a new position that they got.
Is that position there, this Director of Admissions and Registration, one that Akimanin was in before?
It's a new position. I think
it's a new position, but here's what I think. This is the one that I was thinking of, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what I understand happened here is what they did was there was someone doing that job and they called it something else.
Yes.
He moved into another position to get an increased salary because that salary was just not too, the salary was kind of on the low end.
Mm-hmm.
So she moved in. Say this salary was paying $30,000 a year, right? They moved her. She applied for another position in the university, making say $50,000, right? Then the president created the Director of Admissions and Registration, which is basically doing the exact same thing that the other woman was doing, and gives it a pay increase. And now the position makes like $80,000-$90,000 or something ridiculous.
Okay, there's a big distinction because I do work in the in a university, so there's a big distinction in admission and registration. However, I think the situation that you're talking to, I know of it. It might be. Is it the person who was the previous registrar?
Well, I don't want to confuse my facts. I'm still waiting on some confirmation.
Yes. Okay. So I know of a situation. Well, I can't say.
But there was a situation where, and I'm thinking that this is it, where there was a title change.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, I'm sure the person now has more responsibility, but the existing person who was there, my understanding is that person is more than capable of doing the job, and would have been happy to take on the added responsibility because they've actually applied for a more senior position, which they got, making a schmidden more when they could have just stayed where they were and took on the added responsibility. And by the way, the additional staff that has been given to this person for them to be able to carry out their job as director.
Yeah, I think, just what I'm focusing on is more or less the names of the job positions, because admissions and registration is two different positions. Registrar just deals with records within the university. Admission looks more at people coming in. I'm not seeing a registrar for this. Obviously,
that was the point, is the person who was in the job could have very well taken on this newly defined role. Okay, of Director of Admissions and Registration. You notice she has an assistant registrar.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yes, and if that person had been given an assistant registrar and the same title and same salary and whatever, the same support, basically, they came in would have been more than capable of doing the job.
Well, I would simply FOI this woman position and ask why is she there? Simply because I can do that. Any Caymanian can do that.
Anybody can FOI, but like I said, they don't want to respond to people.
Yeah, well, something.
If
they do not respond, they will be expecting a response from the complaint commissioner and the ombudsman. And the lady from the ombudsman left, so I'm really happy about that one too. If you didn't know about that, I think.
Which lady from the ombudsman?
So the lady that was the ombudsman,
Sandy. She hasn't left. Sandy Hammondsworth or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know. To be honest, Sandy,
kind of blondish, short lady, wears glasses.
Yeah, kind of wear glasses.
She's leaving.
Yes, she's going back to Canada.
What?
Yeah, listen.
Messy.
Hot off the press.
My dear, hold on here now. Let me look this up. Office of Ombudsman. That's one that we would love to see going as well, to be honest. I want to make sure we're talking about the right person, though. Hold on here now. Tell me if this is who you're referring to. Her?
That's the one. She is leaving Miss Sandy.
Bumble. Missy, change are coming. Bye, Sandy. Toodaloo. Now, there was a whole fiasco over in that office with one of her own applying for that job.
Yes, she was the director of work.
Rolston.
Yes.
I always confuse her with her sister now, Sharon Rolston. And just for the woman got so jealous over Sharon, she sent her over to immigration on a secondment.
Yeah.
Time for Caymanians to start elevating themselves, especially when you have qualified Caymanians that are willing to work. Now, if you got some issues and you're not willing to work or you're not qualified, that's one thing. But when we have our own that's qualified, why do we always import people in? Now, I got nothing against Sandy. I don't know the woman, but I heard the only reason she got the job is that she was drinking buddies with the previous governor. And it was kind of one of those things where she just slid into the job. So she's leaving as well?
Yeah, she's leaving. Yeah, as a matter of fact,
You better send me that on the email so we can put up that story too.
Well, one of your well, I'll send it to you right there. Well, Cayman Compass reported on it, but yeah, she's leaving. But that's good to hear. You know, all these people who take these big salaries, they don't have Cayman's best interest. Pack your bags and go.
For real.
Other people will take the position gladly.
And you know, I want to be very clear here. I think sometimes, you know, we've got our friends from all over the world who might listen to the program and they're thinking, oh, because somebody said this to me the other day. They were overhearing some people by the pool and some complex saying, oh, you know, Sandy doesn't like expats. And I said, honey child, please, I lived in another man's country as an expat for 15 years out of my life. And I would never not like a person just because you're an expat. That's not what this is all about. So I want to be very, very clear. I think what transpires, however, is that sometimes you go to another country with an unrealistic expectation and a level of disrespect that you would never allow someone in your country to come to you with. See? So if that happens, you know, we expect people to be respectful, regardless of where you go. And we don't expect any differently here in the Cayman Islands. We welcome foreigners with open arms. But I do think that one of the things that gets under my skin is the second someone comes here, they want to hire the whole clan back home.
Well, you know something?
And the associates, the nanny can come here and get big time position up in prison as a manager and still having sex with our prisoners. I mean, you know, and it's not even like they're qualified or they're coming in with the best behavior either.
You know what I have a problem with? And if people take it a certain way, they can slice it, dice it, and swallow it. That
yes, man. Jared, put on the glasses.
If you feel that when you come to Cayman, Caymanians do not like you, it is because of your attitude. And if you didn't get that equation, multiply it, divide it, subtract it, and leave. Because gone are the days where you can come with this disrespectful attitude, put down people and put down Caymanians and feel like, oh, you can get away scot-free. This is a different era. This is not PPM era. I'm not saying anything wrong with PPM, but this is a different era. We are not going to be tolerating any disrespectful attitude by anybody towards Caymanians. And
speak it, Jared, speak it.
I don't care. I do not care. I don't like it when people go around spewing things about Caymanians. Caymanians are not lazy. Caymanians do what they need to do at the end of the day, right? But you can't tell me a Caymanian does not work hard. Look at Dr. Borden. Look at the key Caymanians. Jennifer Lawrence, Honorable Jennifer Lawrence, Tara Rivers. You look at those kids, and I'm counting a few. Alva Soku, Winston Connolly. So when people tell me, say, oh, Caymanians don't work hard, when I can look at a piece of paper and write down Caymanian names, come back and tell me that Caymanians don't work hard when I have proof. So what the foreigners them need to do is follow the rules. Step 1, learn the culture. 2,
now stick a pin there, Jared. This guy here, Mark Muckenfuss.
Yeah.
He, I understand, used to work at the Compass. Let me do a little search on the LinkedIn. Because you know LinkedIn gives you all sorts of. So I understand that he used to work at the Compass. And yes, Cayman Compass, see him there. See him one. So he slid into position at the university. And communication specialist. apparently he was going to be getting some big time job as head of marketing or something, so director of marketing, blah, blah, blah. And one of the reasons why the Compass articles seem to take a certain position on UCCI with this president is because he's feeding them very skewed information. Let's put it that way. That is what the streets are saying. So you see, he started there in January of 2020, adjunct faculty instructor, communications and marketing specialist. But she had him earmarked, it is my understanding, for some big time director of marketing position. And there was backlash against that. So that never happened.
But you know what the problem is? Everybody who come to Cayman want to be a chief. And I'll tell them this, you cannot be a chief over the native. So you just step back and relax and take what we give you. Because I don't understand this attitude. Everybody
but listen, and that's not being, I want to be clear because I don't think you're being disrespectful, because what we gave her was a salary almost on par with the premier of the country, $177,000 per annum.
Money.
So Tasha says it's the admin staff at UCCI that are hardly Caymanian. She got rid of qualified Caymanians to bring in underqualified non-Caymanians.
And this goes in line with an article that I read last night with a Caymanian teacher, where she was saying that pretty much if you're a Caymanian and a teacher in a school, it's like you're looked down upon as opposed to other counterparts from Jamaica and other people from different countries. This has got to change. Because I was taught by Caymanian teachers, Miss Ebanks Powery, Miss Kadina Suarez at John Gray High School, and many other Caymanian teachers. And as a matter of fact, those Caymanian teachers who taught me, I passed the CXE with their teachings. So what is it that y'all are telling me that Caymanian teachers can't teach? Or we just have a skewed view on Caymanians? And because we have that view and that bias that it's correct, it's not.
Well, Tasha says, yep, the president split the positions, changed title, and gave the position more money. And she says, exactly, the person who was doing the job that came in would have been able to do the job, especially with added staff. Sabrina, good morning. Okay, yeah, I didn't know Sandy was leaving. Thanks, Sabrina, for sharing it.
Going.
All right. Well, let's hope we can recruit some Caymanians in this position. Goodbye, Sandy.
Well, Miss Mona, you can't get in trouble for leaking information that is already known. The information that I know about UCCI, I was a student there and I'm alumni. I have every right to say what I want to say about my alma mater. It's freedom of speech. If I don't like, as a matter of fact, if I donate money to UCCI and I tell them I don't like that person, in my money, I can say that. So, and if I'm from Cayman, I have every right to talk about whatever issue that I have a problem with. And the fact is, with people is that you call out people for saying the truth, but then when you are in trouble and you need somebody to help you, it is not, the chances are, it is going to be the local that's going to help you. So anybody who wants to say, oh, Jared Leakey, I don't work for UCCI. UCCI, I'm not owned by anybody.
Yes. Damien says, of course, the pilgrims respected the natives to show them how to survive and then thanks. Since we're talking about Thanksgiving today, the real story of what happened way back when, why we're celebrating Thanksgiving, is a very interesting one because, in fact, the pilgrims did more harm to the natives, introducing diseases, stealing their land, killing them. I mean, they did the most. So I think that in the spirit of Thanksgiving, which part of the story, the narrative that we want to sort of whitewash, if that's the right word, is that, this was such an amazing luncheon of people of different cultures and backgrounds coming together. But the real story there is the Native Americans know that it is very easy for other people to come in and take what they did not earn, what was not theirs, take your land, take your native women, and do whatever they feel with it. And so maybe, again, in the spirit of Thanksgiving, one of the things that we could learn is more cultural tolerance and assimilation. But first of all, when you come in, you have to respect what you find there. I think that is really the key. So Sabrina says that's true, Jared. And Blissful Powell says not when the compass had it first. Yeah, I don't, like I said, I really don't read the compass. I'd be lying.
For clarification, I did not see it on the compass first. For me, I saw it on LinkedIn. Because that's where I got that information from. I just typed in Sandy leaving or whatever, and the compass came up. So I saw it in advance before. So I'm not trying to shoot down compass. Good for them. Stay in the corner.
That wasn't your source. Okay. Well, there you have it, folks. LinkedIn. I find LinkedIn can be very helpful in my investigations, child, because listen,
if you want to find things about certain people, go to LinkedIn.
They be quick to update LinkedIn.
Yeah, right. And the thing is, I want to really just big up UCCI. All the faculty, all the staff there, they're doing a tremendous job. While it is that your president is taking all the credit, she does not do the groundwork. That I know for sure. And especially when it comes to Dr. Khadijah swearing, Sandy, she the woman that be taking the pit of them go to states to compete. I have an issue with that. You can't brag and say, "Oh, you didn't know the program been there before she was there." That probably even something that Mr. Biden had implemented. All the success that UCCI has now is not because of her. Let's make that very clear. It is because of President Biden who laid the groundwork. And all these people who are on interim positions, there will be a FOI for all those positions, their certifications, and why they are interim. Because the people who were the chairs before, they're no longer the chairs. And the reason why I know that, personal information. I went to UCCI, so I know the chairs. Right? So yeah, I'm not playing with how they're doing things. And the board, they're doing the right thing. I hope the report does not come after she leave and then can't do nothing. Because that is what is going to probably happen. The hiring, probably going to see issues with hiring practice. And then because the person is off the island, you can't do nothing. So Dr. Stacy or McAfee.
So someone has clarified in relation to the position that we were talking about with the registrar and director and so on. And this is what they have had to say. Just give me 1 second here. Let me see if I can just pull up this comment. So they have said, this is slightly correct. So they're just getting the devils in the details, as they say. The position was the registrar held by Kimanian, but she resigned from the university. And then that position was created and American got it. The Kimanian resigned out of frustration.
So I know who you're talking about. The person, and I probably will call her name because sometimes we need to put specifics to it. The person that was in there was Allison. Allison, I don't remember Allison's last name, but when I was at UCCI, Allison used to be the coordinator. And during that time, Mr. Borden was there. Allison got registrar. And Allison was doing a good job during that time. But when Mr. Borden left, Dr. Stacy came in. I think it was up until about early on this year that Allison left to go to WROC. And I think even the deputy registrar is gone as well. Right? So the thing is, we shouldn't be hiring, people who frustrate Caymanians when they're doing a job. That is the root core problem. And that is the most reason why people leave. People leave jobs because they're frustrated, they don't feel like they're being heard, and they don't think that they're being valued. And so you can see why Caymanians really are a bit hesitant when we hire people overseas, because it's like, okay, what are we gonna have to deal with now? That is the attitude, really, of why the Caymanian feels a certain way, is because we probably have to deal with some foolishness. Look at that little lady there that was in court, where they lied upon to say, oh, she was doing this and doing that, and they found out that was not the case. Right? That is the problem, and it goes back to Minister Brian, where these companies asking for work permit. I would say, listen, if you do not hire a Caymanian, you are going to be in problems.
Jared, when you put on your glasses, you get serious, man. You're telling the facts. Here's what someone says. This one says she's seen one. Jared knows the things. Yes, the deputy left after Allison, also a Caymanian.
Yeah, I know Allison. I know Allison.
So not only did Allison leave, but the deputy to Allison also left.
Yes, listen, Miss Sandy, there's something going to be a fireworks when I tell you.
I'm looking forward to this HR audit. Evelyn says people attack you with their attitude, and when retaliate, they hate you. And Perla says everything you speak, you just give me goosebumps. Smart young man, love you. Blissful says talk the truth, young Jared. No disrespect. When we give them respect, fair enough.
And the thing is, Miss Sandy, you see, because when we're hiring people from these countries, they are not directly disrespectful. They're passive-aggressively disrespectful. How do I know that? Well, I just know certain things because I work in certain places. And their attitude is that they'll probably say things in like a smart way to like undermine you. So like you're in a meeting, right? And they be like, and you bring an idea. And they say, well, can the idea really work? And it's those type of things that kind of undermine people, and that is what frustrates Caymanians. So of course, listen, Caymanians know Cayman. I have never seen you never bring a military chief from a different country to run a military in the native country. You never bring a premier from a different country to run a
not
country.
If you have any sense anyway.
You know what I mean? Because those are the tactics that you use to disenfranchise the population, to create a lot of problems. And we've seen it. We look at history, colonially, the UK is very good at doing that. Not to point them out, but they're the best example, right? But yeah, Caymanians are not happy when we hire locals. That's point blank period. And we don't like it when work permits are going out when Caymanians can have it. But equally, Caymanians need to take the opportunity, upskill yourself during this 2-year hiatus. You all should have been upskilling yourselves to take the positions, because the problem is that if at the end of the day, if we do not have Caymanians coming forward to say, hey, I want this job or I want this training, businesses are going to have to hire outside of Cayman, and we need to understand the game. Work permits fund the budget. That's just a point blank period. The people that they hire, they work harder. Yes, foreigners, they work harder, but they're also paid cheaper. What we need to do is come in and say, no, Bobo, TD, we're not doing that. You're gonna hire us. You're gonna give us the training. The same training where you get Tom, Dick, Harry, and Mary Sue, we going to get, right? Because we need to start representing that Caymanian product. When you go into the airport, you're supposed to see a Caymanian. When you go into Foster's, you're supposed to see a Caymanian everywhere.
True.
Because that is just who we are.
Yeah.
That is what we should represent, and that is what people want to see.
Yes. So Tasha says the UCCI had a qualified Caymanian in marketing, acting as director of marketing, and they hired an underqualified foreigner to be the director above the Caymanian. What the? No, sir. Messy. That don't even make sense. Nowhere in the world does that make any sense. I mean, that's just like. Okay, Giselle says, I personally applied for roles at UCCI. And how they're outsourcing the marketing for the first time in over 10 years with the foreign director of marketing still getting a huge salary. What? Outsourcing it to who? You see, now this is where, it don't make no sense. This is where I'm like, now hold on a second. You're gonna pay someone a big salary and then you're still outsourcing it?
And I don't get that. Why?
Oh.
Yeah.
All right, we got lots of comments coming in, so let's get a few more of those in. Sue says, my grandson passed their exams for being taught by Humanian teachers. Keep this up, young man. You speak well and the truth. Perla says, make the changes necessary for us Caymanians. I want to upgrade to the betterment of my career. I want to go to college, and I left John Gray High School since 2000. Back then, my parents couldn't afford to send me. Please do these changes ASAP. So I told you that government is going to be opening up opportunities for Caymanians.
You need to talk to your MP on that.
Yeah, it's coming, because I understand they're going to pretty much make it like no cost for Caymanians to take advantage of.
Yeah, because it's their university. It's their university. It's a Caymanian university. So they should have it.
Says that until Caymanians unite and stand together, they will never be changed. Too many crabs in the barrel mentality amongst ourselves. And I agree with that, because normally what they do is they're going to find the one or two little house, and and they're going to use those individuals as little lackey boys and girls and carrying
people. Rubber, what they call them? Rubber knees,
and they be some of the worst ones.
What?
Because they are helping to undermine all the other Caymanians in the organization. Caymanians would be able to accomplish so much as a people if we simply stood in unison with each other. And standing in unison with each other does not mean that you're standing against anyone. You're supporting your own, people first and foremost. And I always say your people have to be doing the right thing. So I don't ever want people to think that I'm here because you guys know I'm gonna call out the slackness, right? Mm-hmm. So I don't support slackness no matter who you are.
Yeah.
Understand? So Giselle says, I think Caymanians hit a glass ceiling in corporate Cayman. The ceiling, not even glass, Giselle. It's a solid concrete, because you're not even seeing through it. At least if you had a glass ceiling, you could kind of see through it and be like, wow, I mean, I could go on to that. You don't even get to see that far. So that's a solid concrete ceiling.
Or it's more like a steel ceiling, really. Not concrete or glass, because Caymanians still can't find jobs right now.
Sherry Ann says, good morning. This young man generation is not going to take foolishness from these people. Good for you. Speak up. Let's clean house at UCCI.
And you know what's funny, Miss Sandy? This is very funny, because when I went overseas to study, people would ask me, why would you leave Cayman? Why would you leave Cayman?
Yes.
And I said, I'd never ever told them the truth, and this is the truth. The people that you're hiring to come into Cayman are from America, UK, and Canada. If I want to beat the game, I have to go out to come back in. Caymanians, learn this. As our forefathers, they went out to the sea. They went on these ships. And what did they do? They went out to come back in. That's why Cayman is the way that it is today. And we should not forget that if in this fight for Caymanians, you have to go back out to come back in.
Isn't that sad?
That is the sad reality, because people can't afford education, and not everybody can do what I was able or given that opportunity to do. But it's very interesting how the people telling me, why would I leave Cayman? I only leave Cayman because I had to leave Cayman, because we know employers, if you have a certain degree from a certain place, it either looks favorable or it doesn't look favorable. But what I would encourage Caymanians to do, be the pioneers that our forefathers were. When they went on them ships and they brought that money back, take the people that money from overseas and bring it back to Cayman. Ain't nothing wrong with that. So that's what I'm doing. I went overseas to get qualified, because Cayman was hiring people from North America, UK, and Canada. And anybody tell me different, I know that not going on. Why is it we have all these people, these chiefs from different countries in these positions and still unable to perform? So we need to look at the director of accreditation. So let me see if I can find her now, who she is.
Hold on 1 second here, folks, because we're getting all the sauce this morning.
Yeah, because you see, succession planning doesn't mean anything
No.
if it's not gonna be followed through.
Accreditation. Let's do a search for her. Accreditation. Oh, Carlissa Jackson. Here the scoop on this one now.
She not came on in.
Hold on. So, talk about the director of accreditation who's not even been to Cayman. Says she can't get flights to come. So she's in the USA working remotely. My bet is she kept her job in the USA collecting the big CI bucks without even stepping foot here. What? Hold on here now, Dr. Clarissa Jackson. Let us look her up on the LinkedIn as well. Because, you know, LinkedIn, like I said, is her friend. How I don't see her on LinkedIn?
She probably don't have a LinkedIn profile.
Yeah, she must be hiding. Let's take the doctor out of the name because maybe she doesn't have that in her LinkedIn profile. So Carlissa Jackson, where are you? LinkedIn, boom. Let me tell you, you must know how to search on the internet, you know. Trust me, one of the best skills is that of a researcher, and thank God, all of my degrees, the English degree, the law degree, the master's degree, everyone teach me how to research. Now we don't know if this is her, because I don't know if she's from North Carolina or not, so we gotta do a little bit more digging, but we did find a Clarissa Jackson. This one is showing us. I need to log in to LinkedIn. Hold on here now. Let me log in. Y'all know how LinkedIn say they want you to be logged in to see people's business. That's no problem. Let me get logged in. All right. So we're going to log right in. Enter your authentication code. No problem, LinkedIn. 1 second, folks. Make sure you have your two-factor turned on. You hear people? Don't be making people sneak into your accounts without two-factor authentication. Let me just pull mine up here. Okay, so LinkedIn, I got everything on two-factor these days. Trust me. All right, even your WhatsApp, you must have on two-factor because people be trying to steal your WhatsApp account. That, and that, and that, and that. Okay. All right. So confirm your number. Oh yes, I need to update my number with LinkedIn.
What? Oh.
Did
the director of nursing leave already?
Already?
There was a lady there before.
I need to update my profile. All right, hold on 1 second now. Let me try refreshing this. This should come up a little bit. Not much from her, to be honest. We shall continue to search for her.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it'll be like the guy who was there, the head of hospitality. He has about 4 different LinkedIn accounts because he had so much to hide. He was all over the place. Carlissa Jackson. I mean, the first name is a little bit unusual with the spelling. Is that her? We don't know. I doubt she's a person of color, just as an observation. So that probably isn't her.
Oh my gosh, it's very funny how certain things are very interesting.
Yeah, we better leave that one right there because most people are not ready for that conversation.
Yeah.
If you have questions, here's Clarissa Jackson. Education.
Also, I know this HSA is finally making additional space for these cases that are going up. I was wondering
do we know where this woman is? Is she still at St. Mary's College of California? Is she from California? It says here she was hired around June of 2020, and she's still in the U.S. Where in the U.S. does she live? We'll source her out, but anyway, that's what we're hearing. The director of accreditation has not been to Cayman, working remotely, collecting a big-time salary. Probably has an assistant while she's at it. So that's another hot mess of a situation.
And why are we outsourcing? The thing is, why are we outsourcing that? You have a VP of business and you have a provost. The accreditation would fall under the head of academia, which is the provost. put
She's
that
from
position
Atlanta, so maybe
back.
it's not this one in California. Let's see. We'll keep finding her. Atlanta. Raleigh, North Carolina. So that's probably not the one that we're looking for. So she has no LinkedIn profile. Interesting. Unless we have the name slightly misspelled. No, but we got it straight from the university. Dr. Carlissa Jackson.
No, it's her.
But too much slackness going on in Cayman. I mean, to be fair, it's like the guy there. Well, now he's married to Caymanian, so he got rights to work and whatever. But before that had happened, we had the accounting guy, on contract under the previous president, and you got called people out when they need it. I don't think that the previous president was making a good decision there. And this guy was working overseas and living his best life. And, on this, I'm like, you mean to tell me you couldn't find a Caymanian accountant, as many Caymanian accountants as we have? Like, seriously, you couldn't find one?
And what seems to be interesting is that I don't know what position she had previously, but it seems to be that this person used to be in research. Accreditation and research are two different things, in my opinion.
Pull your camera down just a little bit there. Pull your screen. Yeah, because I think of how you're sitting. Right, there we go.
Yeah. That job thing about accreditation, that can go back under the provost. We don't need to be wasting money if like that for something that does not need to be separate. Right? Because accreditation and research usually falls under the head of academia, which is the provost. So either you find a different place, different position for that money, put it back for registrar, and get it moving. Or even have the registrar.
We've got someone who said this is the best program that you've ever aired. Wow.
Watch out.
Okay, so she's from Atlanta and she is a woman of color, I can confirm. So maybe these pictures that I'm looking at here, because I can't find anybody else with that name that isn't a woman of color, to be honest. So it's got to be one of these on the LinkedIn, on the University College. I don't know why they don't have a picture up on her, but anyway. So that's interesting. Okay, well, what's she doing in Atlanta? Atlanta is not far. She could drive to Florida and get on a plane long time.
Yeah, she could have. And now that Cayman is open, she can come. And, it'd probably have to be, you'd have to FOI that position to see what was said. Because if they said, oh, well, you can work remotely, what was the intended purpose of the job? That is the question. Because it's a bit speculative, but, if it, as we say in Cayman, if it don't go so, it near goes so.
Yes, my dear child. That's CMR motto.
Right?
Sandy, you need to keep on air both of these. Which both? There's only one gentleman here, Jared and Kevin. Oh, Kevin. Hold on. Okay, yes, man. Kevin will be around for sure. Good morning to Paul. Same thing happening in Bermuda, hiring foreign staff over qualified Bermudians.
All the overseas territories have this problem.
Honey child. He
All
says
these
it's
overseas
the same handbook. You know what it is, Paul? If we need to be honest, it's the remnants of the colonial system, where you always feel that someone who comes from a particular jurisdiction seems to have more knowledge than you, more experience than you, more rights than you. And when they come in, they're going to bring, like I said, the whole kit and caboodle with them, whether those people are qualified or not. And that's a problem.
And the prison guy is leaving too, the director of prisons.
He's leaving. Yeah. Well, we broke that story that he's leaving. He's actually not been well, and I want to be very clear. I like him in terms of, I don't have anything on a personal level to say about him. I think he's not been well. But what is interesting is it appears that the government hired him knowing that he was going to have medical issues, right? Raking up a substantial bill under Sinico with the Cayman Islands government. And I thought to myself, would they have given that opportunity to a Caymanian to come in to a position knowing that you are, I don't want to say terminal because I don't want to use that word about the man, right? But severely ill to the point where you're going to be off more than you're actually going to be on the job getting treatment for your illness. it's a little bit strange because I don't think a Caymanan would have been given that opportunity. Obviously, if you're on the job and you're already there, I think government would have been fair to you. But to bring you in knowing that stuff, I don't really think so. Lily says, let me get my tea and sit down. Very interesting topic. Young minds like Jared make us think twice. Now, Perla, I applaud Jared, and I wish we had more young minds like him. And that is the problem, is a lot of the younger folks who are coming up don't even have the interest or the ability to speak on things like Jared is speaking on things. And this is where I think that we as a country have to admit our own failures.
Well, they're out there, Miss Sandy. It's just that, we have to take a very
well, guess what, Jared? 2022, we've been talking about it for a while, but COVID put a little wrench into everything. Here at CMR, we need to launch our youth program. I think I'm going to speak to you about trying to spearhead that and really trying to get some of these young people on the right track and give them a platform where they can talk about the issues that matter to them and express themselves. Because CMR is all about that. We're all about trying to give people a voice who otherwise feel like they don't have a voice. So
because it probably would be helpful even tell people interview tips, tricks, because you have those Caymanans out there. It's just that we're doing a different strategy. It's either we be a wolf in sheep clothing until we get to the position where we can do what we want to do, because we know outrightly, like what happened to Mr. President Biden. If you speak up too much, you're getting problems. Every Caymanian knows this, right? So if you know Cayman and don't realize this, you getting problems, right? And so that's why they probably won't say nothing, especially if you work in government. Government has a very interesting approach in that it doesn't allow people or its workers to talk out against them, rightly so. But they're out there. They're just being they're buying their time for when they have to run, when they have to, because not everybody can be that public person, to say this and that. And not everybody should do it. But we should work collaboratively, where this person is in that position, that person in that position, and we work in unison, right? So, yeah.
All right, so look here now. Let me show you the latest scoop that we're getting on her name is Carlissa. Just hold on a second here. So I guess there's a reason why they do not have her picture available on the UCCI website. So she's missing in action in more ways than one. According to Zoom Info, which was last updated in June of 2021 at 6:14 a.m. She is a program manager in institutional effectiveness at Morehouse School of Medicine. So this woman not update nothing about she work in UCCI.
Yeah, and then the question is value for money. Are we getting value for the people that we hire? Because I said this. Who did I say this about? Yeah, the principal at John Gray. We need to start reviewing the people them that have these big positions, because, and a matter of fact, Parliament is opening up. So when we interview these people and check the reports, most of the time, Miss Sandy, when they go, they don't have the information. They don't have what they need to have until the time where the question is asked by the MP. And that is very, I would say, lackadaisical. I will use that strong word. It looks very lacking to the leadership of the institution, because every head of department, CEO, head of department, chief officer, they should be having reports on what is going on the organization, entity, or authority. You can't wait till you are in PACC, Public Accounts Committee. You're getting grilled, and that is when you're answering the question. Like, come on, like value for money. Tell the people them say we need an annual report every year. It ain't that hard. Our next one day, tell your supervisors, I would like a report on what's going on. Compile it for each year, right? So that when you go to PACC, you don't look like a fool. because they be looking like fool, especially, and I will call out HSA because they seem to be very good at theatrics and never having anything ready. So they need to clean their self up. They do good work. Their CEO is okay. She's very good, but there could be some improvements, as I would
Speaking of
put
some of these CEOs, this is one of the things that we need to do a little bit of research on, because some of these CEOs of these statutory organizations, right? So it's not central government, are making some serious money, and we need to understand what they're doing to
What
earn
did yeah, because
$30,000 a month.
Sunday.
I'm just saying.
No, it's a fact.
Aliano
It's a
says we've
fact.
always battled this issue with little ferocity,
Yeah.
and the time has come to cut the nonsense. Yes, we aren't the monolith, but
Yeah,
in
we,
the end,
you know something? I would challenge MPs. If you took 10% cuts from those CEO positions and put it towards funding UCCI, because they don't need that much money. What you doing with 30? Yeah, you can get the 30 grand, yeah. But if you cut some of those salaries, you know how much money we could be able to fund education, find food to feed people. Because it's not that they're not doing the work, it's what are you doing? That is the question. What are you doing? Because she has a deputy CEO as well. And you know how HSA is, right? You know, what you see is what you get. And that's why people run to Health City, because what you see is what you get. And they do have excellent services, but there's a certain level of trust that people have with HSA. And it reflects and it shows. But they have more problems than one, simply because Mr. Ozzy will deal with them in good time. That's how I'll put it. He is in the right place to get them into shape and to let them know, because they suppose, as much as we are a world-class civil service, HSA needs to be a world-class health organization. Some of the initiatives that they should be leading or taking lead on, I don't see it. I don't see why we're waiting till all the cases increase before we had that building on Smith Road, the emergency shelter. Every clinic should have a certain space where if you have a rising case, people can stay there. Because if everybody go to HSA, what is that going to do for the secondary services? And this is the thing, they do innovation, problem solving, lacking. And so if you as a CEO not doing that, which is to innovate and solve problems, hand in your resignation letter. And like Dr. Stacey McAfee, we will accept your resignation letter. We will say, thank you for being here. Sayonara non grata.
All right, Jared, thank you so much. We're actually out of time. I didn't even realize the time, my dear. I'm still here talking, but we appreciate it. Damien says put an education fee onto all work permits. These funds go back to higher education for Caymanians. Giselle says they had a year and a half for preparation. So, folks, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Very, very interesting show this morning. Of course, none of these problems are resolved after one conversation. Somebody else says, trust me, there's no lies in what Jared is saying. Someone said, could she be a ghost professor? They operate as if they own the government. Interesting. So, yes, what a hot mess.
Yeah, we need to listen, people, put pressure on the government agencies. If they do a bad service, you tell them, you do a bad service. I don't like this. This is not what I'm paying money for. I need good service. Don't be disrespectful and start take liberty with people, but just say, hey, this is not the service that I expected. You know, tell your MP, put pressure on your MPs. That what they're there for. They're not there for their good looks and collect big money. So listen, I don't like this, right? This needs to be fixed. But don't go to the MP for every painstaking issue. That's not what the MP is there for.
Sean, the people them don't explain that. They don't understand that. Trust me, I know.
The MP is not there for.
They keep talking about I working for the the PAC government because they be messaging me with all their problems. I say yes, I soon have to get put on salary.
Well, you know something, Miss Andy. It's not that you're working for PACT, you're working for the betterment of Cayman. Because
when people reach out to me with a problem, I'm like, okay, let me see what I can do to help you with this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm not like, oh, we can't help you.
Oh,
no, you're not a Caymanian. So when you call my phone, we can't. To be honest, most of the people who reach out for help are actually not Caymanians, and it doesn't matter to me. If people need help, they need help. And they need help because they're not understanding the systems in place, or the systems just are not working.
But you know what? That's because the district councils haven't been put in, because the MP.
But listen, them district council people, they're not gonna want to work. They think that can just be title in position that can them eventually push them into politics. I am willing to bet you the majority of people who would be sitting on a district council are not going to be the worker bees. It's always the people who want a little bit of attention for themselves, and that's the problem.
Yes, and it would be another level of added bureaucracy.
Bureaucracy and more money wasted too.
If what you see,
because listen, if you want to get stuff done in your community, no one is going to stop you, whether you have a district council or not.
Exactly.
Miss Rhonda says, good morning, Miss Sandy. I enjoy your show. I like the information you bring to the people. I pray for health and God's guidance for you. Happy and a blessed Thanksgiving. Thank you so much. Now, those of you who won certificates today, please don't forget to reach out to me. So we've got Hero Blair, Evelyn, Carmelie, and Alvin Connor. Please reach out and let me know which certificate you'd like and what I should do with your certificate in terms of either getting it to you or re-gifting it. So thank you all again for tuning into the program today. Please have a wonderful and blessed Thanksgiving. Now, I want to give a big shout out. Just as I logged into LinkedIn, I see this come up here. This is a young Caymanian who looks like he's doing things over at SEMA. So why don't we give some positivity where it's due? So this one says, SEMA says, this week we've highlighted some of our male staff and the significant value that they bring to those around them in honor of International Men's Day. So this is nice. Jason, it says, I'm a man of ambition. So big shout out to Jason Ebanks. He's an analyst 1. And it says, I'm a man of ambition and hard work. I value all the lessons and mannerisms my parents instilled into my upbringing to shape who I am today. Their guidance has also given me the opportunity to lay the foundation for my own family and allow me to point them in the right direction as they did me. Things in life don't come easy and sacrifices must be made to reap the benefits. Having such great role models to inspire you every day is a true blessing. Wow, I'm going to give that one a thumbs up. Well done there to Jason Ebanks over at the Cayman Islands Monetary Authority. Very good. All right, Jared, thank you as always for popping in. We appreciate the contribution.
Thank you, Sandy.
All right, folks. So again, that's Jared. The young man always has a lot of positive things to say. Oh, yes, I wanted to, I tell you what, tomorrow we'll bring in some of our people in for a little bit of virtual retail therapy. So I want to make sure you guys tune in for that. Now, we've got a couple important announcements coming up, including one from CUC. So stay tuned for these announcements, folks. Don't quite log off just yet.
CUC advises customers on South Church Street, South Sound Road, and in Secret Gardens and Hidden Gardens off Fairbanks Road that they may experience short, intermittent interruptions to their electrical service on Tuesday, November 30th, between 7 a.m. and 5 p.m. Areas affected include customers from Feline Close on South Church Street to Bel Air Drive on South Sound Road, including Secret Gardens and Hidden Gardens off Fairbanks Road. Motorists are asked to drive with caution when utilizing South Church Street and South Sound Road, as CUC will have a number of vehicles and personnel in the area and may be required to temporarily block one lane on a section of these roads. CUC apologizes for this interruption, which is necessary to facilitate required overhead infrastructure upgrades and repairs to provide our customers with safe, reliable, and efficient power. For more information on the outage, please contact CUC's customer service team at 949-5200 or email service@cuc.ky.
We have you covered for 64 years as the island's trusted energy provider for all 3 islands. Home Gas is your #1 supplier of propane and propane products in the Cayman Islands, offering same-day delivery on Grand Cayman. Place your order before midday, and the Home Gas delivery team will get your tank topped up in any district island-wide. Same-day delivery, one of the reasons people prefer Home Gas to anyone else. We've got you covered. Call us today on 949-7474.
Healthier spaces, healthier people. Electrostatic disinfection is a touchless cleaning technology. It provides a charge to a solution that electromagnetically sticks to a surface, providing 360-degree coverage. Rest assured, it is safe for electronics, food, and paper products. Reliable Industries, the clean you expect, the service you deserve.
Ang Balikbayan Boxes ay bumalik na sa Miracle Brokers. Ipadala sa iyong mga mahal sa buhay ang espesyal na pakete para sa Pasko o bagong taon na puno ng mga damit, laruan at marami pa. Sa halagang $65, ito ay isang deal na hindi mo matatalo. Ito ang huling shipment para sa 2021 at ang deadline ay katapusan ng Disyembre, kaya huwag mag-antala. Makipag-ugnayan sa pamamagitan ng WhatsApp 345-916-0355 upang bilhin ang iyong kahon at magreserba ng espasyo sa barko. Sa pagtatapos ng 2021, gustong pasalamatan ng Miracle Brokers ang lahat sa Filipino community para sa iyong suporta sa mga nakaraang taon. Lubos naming pinapaalagahan ang iyong negosyo. Inaasahan namin ang patuloy na paglilingkod sa iyong komunidad sa 2022 at higit pa.
Aeropost makes Christmas easy. In just 3 steps, you can have all your Christmas shopping done. Step 1. Buy. Shop online with a retailer of your choice. Step 2. Pre-alert your package and upload your invoice with our state-of-the-art customer portal. Step 3. Receive your package at our GT office without the hassle of customs clearance. Christmas has never been easier than this. Contact us today at 321-4490 via WhatsApp 954-260-9620 to register and take advantage of our discounted special.
Census 2021. Census. Come on, get ready. Census. Starting 10th of October 2021. Census. West Bay, you ready? Census. East End, we coming. Census. Everyone will be counted. Census. 2021. Census. But in town, are you ready? Census. Georgetown, we coming. Census. Your info will be secret. Northside, get ready. Census. Rockers will be counted. Census. Little Cayman, we coming. Census. People, get ready. Census. 2021. Census. Todos se cuentan. Census. Latinos serán contados. Filipinos bajanda. 2021 census. Papa, are you ready? Census. Mama will be counted. Census. Children and toddlers. Census. 2021 census. Information is secret. Census. 2021 census. Starting October 10th. 2021 census. 2021 census. Census. Census.
2021 census. Everyone counts.
Accidents happen at any time, when you least expect it. Be prepared. Reach out to Recover Personal Injury Attorneys. We don't get paid until you recover.
Thank you for tuning in to another edition of The Cold Hard Truth. Make sure to check Facebook for showtimes and more information and the latest news at CaymanMarlRoad.com. Subscribe to our IG and Facebook pages to get the latest happenings.